Hello everyone, welcome to Reactify Labs. Today we will talk about CDNs, CDN or Content Delivery Network. And before we start with what CDN is, let me give you a real life relatable example where CDNs are used. If you have used Amazon Prime Video, then you would have noticed that some contents some contents are available in US but not in India. Some contents are available in India but not in US. Similarly, it's possible that some are available exclusively in Europe but not in US or India. Right? So these things happen. Why do these things happen? It is, I don't know, like why? The right question is why? Why do you think something is available in US but not in India? And how do they control it? So the way they control it is, if for some content, let's say there is a show ABC, okay, and it has uh, approval for release only in US, okay. So what Amazon Prime Video does is it serves the content, okay, it serves the content not from original DB, okay. It means if this is the original, not DB, actually it should be store. If this is the original store for this Amazon Prime Video, where everything is there, everything that's there in the Amazon Prime is there, okay, then if these are continents, like here it's US, North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, something must be there like somewhere India, okay, then what happens in this case is Amazon uses CDN, okay, and CDN means, what CDN does is it 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 holds the contents, it holds the content closer to the user. So if there is a user in US, then there will be a CDN which will serve the content directly to US consumers. If there is India here, then there will be a CDN somewhere in India or close to India where all the Indian content will be served. Okay. Now, when you search for something, let's say if there is something which is there in US but not in India, then when you search the Prime Video, it will go and uh, talk to the CDN, and the CDN will tell it that this feature, this content is not available in this country. Then that's when you get that red or orange text saying this content is not available in your country. That is because of CDN. Okay. So what does it do? And actually why? You got what? Why does it do that? So it does this so that the content can be delivered to the user instantly. If somebody is in India and distance between India to US is, I'm not sure if it's, I think it's 12,000 kilometers. If it's 12,000 kilometers, then content has to travel till here, then it has to go till here again. Means the request will come and the response will be coming from here. So the round trip time will be a lot, which will not give a good user experience. There will be too much lag, or the mechanism to fetch should be different so that it can it uh, preloads all the content for the user. So different possibilities might come in here. Okay. So depending on the use cases, like we have these use cases here, uh, uh, of this content delivery, also content restrictions also. So if you have some things which are restricted in, let's say, India, okay, if some things are restricted in India, so we know that this CDN will not hold that, this CDN will not hold that content, okay, so that cannot be served in India. Also, different countries have different rules and regulations. So all the contents which are there in India will have their own uh, rule rule following contents. For example, let's say, um, let's take an example that, for example, violence. Okay, we can show violence totally. I'm not sure exactly what happens here, but just taking example, let's say we can show violence totally, with all the graphic scenes in, for example, Europe. I'm just taking an example, please don't mind, but it's not possible in US. Then US CDN will make sure that either these contents are blurred or these are not shown totally. Okay. Another thing, let's say in India, we all know that there is a strong restrictions on nudity, and which is relaxed in US and Europe countries. Okay. So the nude scenes will be either blurred or cut out in Indian content. Similar thing goes with abusive languages. So if the content is for India, they might beep it. And for other countries, it is possible that depending on the rules and regulations. Okay, I'm not pointing out anything. Depending on the rules of the country, these things are followed, and all these are taken care by CDN. So I hope this gives you an understanding of why CDN is used, and let's now move to the technical parts of it. So the question is, what is a CDN? So a CDN is a distributed network of servers. Okay, it's a distributed network of servers which are strategically placed. Okay, we should know how much is too much, how little is too little. So that's why strategically placed, so that optimal, uh, what do you say, optimal output can be achieved from it. If we give too many CDNs, then if we give too many servers, then it will be too much costly for us. We have to manage a lot. If we give too less, the round trip time may be too much, the load may be too much on the server. So we need to decide that strategically, what number is the optimal number, right? So it's strategically placed where, across various locations, worldwide, to efficiently deliver web content to users based on their geographical proximity. As I told you, everything is about geographical proximity. US will have a different CDN, Europe will have a different CDN, Africa will have a different CDN. Okay. CDN plays a pivotal role. It plays a pivotal role in enhancing the speed, performance. As I told you, less round trip time means more speed, good performance, and reliability of delivering web content to end users. Okay. So this is the definition of CDN. Let's see what are some of the everyday systems we see in our daily life which use CDNs. Okay. Everyday systems requiring CDNs. Netflix, best example. Netflix, YouTube. So these use CDN to deliver high quality videos efficiently. Okay. Also, it's not only about the geographic restrictions also. It's possible that, for example, I am in India, okay, and I am watching some US series, okay. If the series keeps on getting served from US, it will not be good user experience. So it will fetch that content to my nearest CDN and it will serve me from there. Netflix will serve that to me from there. YouTube will serve that to me from the nearest CDN. So depending on my requirement also, it can be fetched. It's not only about geographic restrictions, okay, just to make it clear here. um, Another thing maybe Amazon. Amazon and other shopping platforms, they rely on CDN for faster product image and web page loading. So Amazon, if I am opening from India, if I open Amazon US website, then it will fetch that page quickly. It will fetch that and store it in CDN so that it can be delivered to me quickly and give me good user experience. Okay, it's not only about video content only. It CDN is also responsible for delivering web content also, web pages. Okay. Similarly, similar to I think Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, Instagrams also deliver media, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So these also use CDN for quick media content delivery. Okay. We have some gaming services also, like Xbox. So these also use CDN to optimize game downloads and updates. Okay. Next is we have news channel websites, CNN, BBC. Again, it falls under the same category of Netflix videos, right? But the news also can be fetched like this. Other very good example, real life example is Windows Update. Windows Update, app stores. These also utilize CDN to efficiently distribute updates to users all over the world. Okay, because most of the apps are like that, they are available in different geographical regions, across regions. So it should be there, although some apps have restrictions, because if you go to Play Store and uh, try something, for example, some app which is not there in India, or if you are in US, you search for an Indian app which is not there in US, you will not be able to find it. The search will not only give you the result, search will not give you the result at all. If, however, you take a link from somebody in India and try to download it, when you open that link, you will see that this content is not available, this app is not available in your location, so you will not be able to download it. Okay, great. Now let's check what happens if we don't use CDNs. We got to know why we need CDNs. Then what if we don't use CDN? What happens then? Okay. Without CDN, websites will experience slower loading. Okay. Websites will experience slower loading. And what will it do? User frustration. User experience will be bad. User frustration, more bounce rates. Because if you don't give good user experience, users will not stay with you. Next is lack of CDN will lead to higher latency. This will also impact user experience. So bad user experience, especially for global audiences. Okay. Content served from central server consumes more bandwidth. Okay. If there is only one server, then there will be more bandwidth, right? So content served from central server consumes more bandwidth. Consumes more bandwidth, hence more cost, right? Why? Because there is only one server, right? And it has to serve all the requests. It means the bandwidth should be more, and which will result in more cost. Next is central server. If there is a central server, then there will be higher traffic, right? And what will higher traffic do? because there is central server, it's a single point of failure, and higher traffic can potentially crash the servers, leading to potential server crashes or slowdowns. Okay, and as I just said, single points of failure without CDN obviously, and what it will do, increase the vulnerability of downtime. More crashes, more frequent crashes, then more downtime will be there, right? So I hope this clears it. Now if we talk about how CDN solves these problems, it's the same thing. CDN distributes the content, right? Let me write that also. So then how CDN solves these problems? How CDN solves these problems? So one thing is obviously bringing the content closer to the user. So it's strategically, CDN strategically distributes content across multiple edge servers. Okay, it will distribute the content. Now it will also cache the content. Caches frequently accessed content closer to users. Why? For faster retrieval. For example, let's say now um, Mirzapur is releasing, or Mirzapur, yeah, it's releasing on 5th of July. Or by the time I upload this video, it would have already released in India. So what happens then is, uh, if there are too many Indians in US, then US knows that it has to stream Mirzapur in US. Then it will cache that content. Although it will be primarily in Indian server, but it will cache that content because it knows that a lot of people will watch it, or not. If not in advance, if it sees a lot of people are watching it from US, then it will obviously cache it. Okay. Next is, it also balances traffic. It also acts as a load balancer. So balances it actually, that was a wrong statement. It does not act as a load balancer. It it takes care of the load balancing. Okay, because not all the load is going on the one server, and geographically distributed CDNs get their, the nearest CDN fetch serves for the request. Okay, it is possible that mm, in the northern part of India, it fetches the content from the CDN which is in northern India, and southern part of India fetches from a CDN which is maybe in the southern part of India somewhere, or it's in Sri Lanka. Okay, so this is how the load balancing happens. Similarly, for the eastern part and for the Bangladesh, they may have the same CDN. Okay, Eastern India and the CDNs, and the maybe some part of East Asia as well. Okay, so Southeast Asia basically. So it balances traffic efficiently across servers. Okay, next is, edge servers reduce latency by bringing content closer to end users. It's the same thing. And CDN also optimizes bandwidth usage, as I talked about in the last example. What happens without CDN? Central server, more bandwidth, and CDN optimizes bandwidth usage by serving cached content locally. By serving cached content locally, right? Now let's talk about CDN architectures. There are two types of CDNs. One is pull CDN, and another one is push CDN. Okay, let's talk about this. So in the push CDN, as the name suggests, the content is fetched from origin server to edge server only when requested by users. Okay, it is fetched on user request. Okay, but sorry, This is one. But this is fetched proactively. So for example, again, it depends on the CDN. If a user wants to watch a show which is not present in one country, user will fetch. It's a pull CDN. But if the system itself knows that okay, there will be demand from this country, but the content is from another country, it will automatically do it. So this is a push CDN. Okay. Again, caching on request. Depending on the user request, the caching will be done. Okay. Here, preloading. Okay. Here, the thing is, it has got efficient use of resources as content is fetched on demand. So if there is no demand, then there is no need to fetch content, right? So efficient resource, efficient resource use. Here there may be some wastage of resources because the content is fetched proactively. Okay. So it is good for static content. So it's good for static content because the content is not changing. It will be there, it's not going to consume a lot of memory, and mm, then that way it reduces latency by preloading the content. Okay. Next is, this one is well suited for dynamic content. Okay. This one is well suited for static content. Actually these two look same, so I'll just change it. So it has efficient resource use. It is efficient, it is also efficient, but for static content. It's not that it's totally inefficient. For static content it's efficient, for dynamic it may not be. Okay. And obviously this is not good for dynamic content. Push CDN is good for static content, pull CDN is good for dynamic content. Okay. It may have latency because when user is requesting, at that time it is giving the request to the user. So this is introducing latency. But here, since it is pre-fetched, there is lower latency. Actually, yeah, low latency is, yes, low latency means better. Yeah. So it's low latency, right? Next is, this is used by mostly streaming platforms. Okay. But this one is used by websites for fetching static assets like images, scripts, static assets like images, scripts, etc. Mostly for websites basically. Okay. And it is good for varying content popularity and user demands. Varying content popularity, which depends on user demands. Okay. This will be 6, this will be 7, and here this one is good for scenarios where content can be predicted or pre-computed. If the content is like this, then push CDN is better. Okay. Great. Now that we have talked about most of the things, let me see what else is left. We've done most of the things. We have talked about the benefits of CDN. Like, we have talked about how CDN solves the problem, and so actually let's talk about the benefits also. It is most of the points will be similar to how CDN solves the problem, but there may be something here and there. So benefits would be improved loading speeds and overall website performance. Okay. Faster content delivery, obviously. There is no need to explain this point as we have talked about this recently. So faster content delivery, so good user experience, uh, ability to handle traffic, ability to handle traffic spikes and serve content globally. Next is increases audience reach. It's bringing the content closer to the audience. So audience reach increases. Good scaling. It helps in scaling. Next is packet loss is reduced. Packet loss is reduced because the larger the distance traveled, the more the chances of packet loss. Here, CDNs bring the content closer to the users, so the packet loss reduces. Okay, lower network latency, optimizes bandwidth usage, right? Reduces server load, right? At the same time, this is the as a side effect of reducing server load, reduces cost, right? So these are the benefits of CDNs. So CDNs are very good, right? And anything that is good comes with its own challenges. Hmm? Let's see what are the challenges faced by CDNs. The challenges faced by CDNs. First one, configuring is challenging. Configuring and implementing CDN can be technically challenging because the more sophisticated the system is, the more complex its maintenance, its making is. Okay. Another challenge is ensuring consistent content. Ensuring consistent content across multiple servers. Multiple servers can be difficult, right? Next is data security and privacy concern. Data security and privacy concern can be there because you never know where somebody might intercept something. Okay. um, Next is fetched content might be stale. For example, let's take the case of push CDN. So the website is fetched already and it shows a cost which has become stale. Let's say the seller has updated the cost, it has reduced the cost, so it will be a loss for the person if the content served to that guy is stale, right? So these are the challenges which need to be addressed when we are implementing CDNs. Okay. So I believe I've covered most of the things in CDN. Just one more thing I would like to talk about is what are some of the popular CDNs. What are some of the popular CDNs that's being used worldwide these days? So one is Akamai. So Akamai is one of the largest and oldest CDNs. They offer a suite of content delivery, cloud security, and edge computing solutions. They are known for their extensive global network infrastructure. They provide reliable and high performing delivery services for websites and applications. Second one is Cloudflare. Cloudflare is the one where lead code is hosted. If you would have witnessed when lead code servers are down, you see Cloudflare's site that okay, this is down right now. So Cloudflare is also a prominent CDN offering content delivery. It also offers distributed denial of service protection and internet security service. It's recognized for its robust security features, content caching, and edge computing capabilities, and they cater to a wide range of clients. Okay. Another example is Amazon CloudFront. It's a part of AWS, which provides scalable and secure content delivery services. It is integrated with other AWS services. It offers seamless content delivery, low latency, and flexible configuration options. Another is Microsoft Azure CDN. So Microsoft Azure CDN, it's a part of Azure Cloud Platform, which provides global content delivery with various caching options. Everybody provides caching options basically. Um, they seamlessly integrate with other Azure services, offering scalable content delivery and customization based on user requirements. Okay, so that's it. That's all about CDNs. I hope this gives you a comprehensive understanding of CDNs, why CDNs are required, what are the benefits of using CDNs, what happens if we don't use CDN, what kind of systems need CDN, different types of CDN like pull CDN, push CDN, and what are the good, famous, big CDN providers right now in the world. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.